What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while in the world of Hong Kong and hang out with Kindly Chang and Gobbit and Isabel and all of our fun friends. I have glasses on. That's pretty sick. I enjoy that a lot. Got our deck on our back. Man, we are ready to go. I would love to. I feel a lot better about the fact. So I said that we went into our last mission without buying gear properly. I'm kind of glad that the store is shut down and we weren't able to buy anything, so it wasn't like really my fault. I mean, it's still my fault, but I'm going to use that as a scapegoat for right now. Welcome on back. Let's jump into our bunk. It's time for nappy time. Well, that was fun. The dream is suffocating, the shifting tunnel of glass and steel, the towering silhouette of dark majesty, the shadowy doorway, and the teeth. They snap at your heels as you claw your way back to consciousness. You open your eyes to Duncan looming over you. I didn't know you were a weaver. Good for you, man. He shakes your shoulder roughly. Pop-Tart. Hey, come on, Pop-Tart, wake up. We gotta go talk to Kindly. The others already left. That was one rough night. He lets go of your shoulder and cocks a thumb at the hatch. We gotta go. I've been trying to wake you for a while now. You were thrashing around in your sleep. Glad you did. I was having one hell of a nightmare. He reaches up and rubs the back of his neck. Yeah, I didn't sleep well either. I had a bad dream last night too. What about? He shrugs. I never remember my dreams all that well. It's probably motion sickness. Not used to sleeping on a boat. I woke up a little while ago and hit the head. Then I came back and woke you. You doing all right? I'll survive. His fingers hit a knot. He winces. But man, nothing's gone right since we stepped foot in this country. I'll tell you something though, and this is after a full night's sleep. I don't believe that Ray's dead. I hope you're right, but I gotta say it. Actually, I'll ask him what makes him say that. What makes you say that? Think about it. That statement from the cops was on the newscast, or that statement from the cops on the newscast could be fake. Ours was. And that surveillance footage? We never saw Raymond get shot. The camera was hit by stray gunfire. His passion is intense, but contained and focused. Raymond's alive, Pop-Tart. I know it. Well, you make a good case, Whoo. That's what I was thinking, too. Is that perhaps it was doctored like everything else so far. If you think about it, like 5 out of 5 Tridios that we've seen so far have all been doctored and fake. So it wouldn't surprise me if it turns out that way too. Oh, look, we have a life preserver right now, just in case. He smiles. His teeth are white and straight. Perfect. Should have been a detective instead of a headbuster, right? His smile fades. God, I feel like I'm 12 years old again, squatting on a stinking trawler. Partner's gone, Raymond's gone, hell, I'm gone, and I don't even have a name anymore. And now I can't even go to sleep and hide from it all without having a nightmare. His jaw tightens and his teeth grind so loud that you can hear it. What else is going to be taken away from me? My cat used to do that before she died. My cat had stomach cancer. And she used to do this teeth grinding thing that was just, oh, it was awful. It was the worst. You could hear it from anywhere in the house. And she was like, her stomach would hurt so much that she would grind her teeth. And that's the day that she started doing that, is when I took her and had her put down, because it was just like, Jesus Christ. It was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. For real. It was just like this haunting, horrible sound of teeth grinding. It was god awful. Well, you still have that piercing you got in Tacoma? I'm here, Duncan, and I'm not going anywhere. His mouth tightens. Too soon, Splattercat. He checks his watch. Gobbit and Isabel left a while ago. We should get going, too. See what the Triad lady has to say. So, naval people, the head is the bathroom, right? Is that correct? I don't know naval terminology that well. The head is, I'm pretty sure the head is the bathroom, though. I'm sure somebody that's in the Navy or somebody that works on a ship or a freighter or something have to tell me. I strongly consider, I'm still considering doing that once this is all, like, once YouTube is all done and over with. I always wanted to travel the world as a result of my job. And I was thinking about getting a job on top of, like, a merchant freighter or something, one of those ones that ferries around those big cargo boxes. I don't know who you have to know to get that job, but I always thought it might be interesting. Let's see here. I also have mapping experience. Technically, I would assume anyways. With some minor touch-ups on my cartography skills, I might be able to navigate and whatnot. It takes some work. My trigonometry and everything else, I would have to get back into latitudes and longitudes and whatnot, but I bet I can make it happen. It's not that difficult. Distance, speed. It's It all comes together. It's intuitive. So who is this champ over here? What's going on, mullet man? You don't look so good. You're bleeding all over the... Oh, look, they put down a towel this time so that the rug wouldn't get bloody. Rug Bloody. That sounds like another awesome band name. Why do I think of all the awesome band names while I'm YouTubing? Rug Bloody. Kindly's place reeks of stale cigar smoke and fresh urine. The clicking of mahjong tiles is strangely absent. In its place is a low murmur of laughter and an air of eager anticipation. All eyes are focused on the groaning figure kneeling bloody and bound at the feet of Kindly Chang. She beckons to him with her finger, and he struggles towards her, the loud rustling of the plastic tarp crackling under his knees as he moves. His pants are wet with fear. An acetylene torch lies on the table at Chang's right hand. Oh, is this the guy that sold out Gobbet and Isabel? And killed off Nightjar? She said she liked Nightjar. Or did she say Nightjar was an asshole? Kindly Chang ignores the scene. She behaves as if all is right in the world. How did you sleep, my little ones? Like a baby, Auntie. I'm still in the afterglow of our tour of the walled city. The Triad boss's eyes turn to half moons of amusement. Afterglow. Really? She nods her head back towards the pillar of meat standing beside her, behind her. Then you should be delighted to say hello to our old friend, Strangler Bao. He's here because of you. How very pleasant to see you again, Mr. Bao. Bao inclines his head 1/4 of an inch. Well then, now that the niceties are over, let's get to the nasties. She indicates the kneeling man with an incline of her nose. Shitbird here is a plainclothes cop. He snuck into the area last night while you were sleeping, hoping to find you and kill you before his competition got to you first. My men found him outside the trawler you were sleeping on. They saw to it that your rest was undisturbed and that your location remained a mystery. Why do I hear slot machines when we're in a mahjong house? She nods her head towards the pillar of meat standing behind her. You can thank Mr. Bao for that. Thank you for guaranteeing. I feel like we're dealing with, like, organized criminals right now, like professional criminals, and so I feel like I should be the consummate criminal professional as well. I don't know, fake it till you make it. Thank you for guaranteeing our safety, Mr. Bao. Bao inclines his head 1/4 of an inch. She addresses the bloody man on his knees. Now, shitbird, tell my friends here what you told me. I don't know anything, I swear. We just got the orders in last night. He pushes his head towards you and Whoo from the floor, struggling to keep his balance. Somebody high up wants these two dead. The whole department is on it. I don't know anything else. Someone from high up. The old woman lifts her foot, taps his chin with the toe of her shoe. How high? The cop looks up at her, looks around the room filled with Triad soldiers. One of them opens his coat and shows the cop something inside. He closes it slowly and winks. The cop drops his head to his chest. All the way up. It's someone on the council. Someone on the executive council wants these two dead? Chang spits on him with a sneer. Fuck your ancestors to the 18th generation. Give me the truth. The cop wears the spittle. He never lifts his head. It's the truth, madam. I swear it. Whoever it was labeled them as terrorists. We're to terminate with extreme prejudice. Kindly Chang shuffles closer to the kneeling cop, reaches down and strokes his head with her hand. Then she slowly digs her fingers into scalp. She pulls back hard until his chin points high. The Triad boss leans in close and searches his eyes with her own. That's all he's got. She lets go of his head and smooths his buzz-cut hair with her hand. For whatever reason, last night someone on the executive council of the Free Enterprise Zone ordered the Hong Kong police force to kill two nobodies from Seattle. I find that fascinating, don't you? Yes, but why the need to label us international terrorists? She strokes the policeman's cheek with the back of her hand. Her rusty voice becomes sweet as she explains the ways of the world. Propriety, my darling. When the government has somebody gunned down, they prefer to make it appear justified. The people feel safer when their murders feel like part of civilization. That's what I was thinking too, is that the quickest way to get what you need done as a political force is to label some group of people as dangerous insurgents or whatever else, because then you can just eliminate them and the population thinks that you're doing them a favor. They're like, oh, well, they're bad people. They obviously had it coming. Let's not ask any questions. I was thinking the exact same thing. My, but you have definitely fallen into the deep end of the pool. Seattle isn't like Hong Kong. There, the megacorps control the government. Here, the corps are the government. The Executive Council is chosen by the corporate board of governors. They're basically the legislative and executive branches of the Hong Kong government in one tiny package. 8 people call all the shots. Neat and efficient. Kindly Cheng steps back from the cop and lights one of her thin black cigars. For the wage slaves and civilian sheep, the corporations are a pantheon of gods who wield absolute power. She looks around the room, but not for us. The triad woman takes a long pull from her cigar and taps her ash on the kneeling cop's head. Who else knows about my guest visit to Hioi, shipbird? No one, madam. I hadn't called it in yet. I wanted to kill one for myself. No one knows that they're here, I swear it. She turns to her enforcer. Mr. Bao. Bao fiddles with the PDA in his meaty hands. He's telling the truth. No outgoing callers on his PDA. Very good. Thank you, Bao. She nods at the cop. Thank you for your honesty. In one smooth motion, Strangler Bao produces a silenced pistol, fires into the policeman's head, and replaces it in his jacket. His face never changes expression. I was wondering what we were going to do with him. Yeah, I mean, he tried to murder me, so I really don't feel that bad about it. If he didn't want to die, he shouldn't come into our territory trying to kill people. It's a pretty simple concept. If you don't want to die, don't kill people. And there you go. Live by the sword. I don't feel bad for him at all, in all honesty. I mean, he was going to kill me in my sleep, so, you know. I was wondering what we were going to do with him, and you can't really let him go. Chang takes a drag on her cigar. It indicates the body. He knew, darling. He knew. She balances her cigar on her shot glass, picks up some mahjong tiles, and begins playing with them absently. It is clear our friend Raymond Black was up to something involving the walled city, something having to do with prosperity. And this executive council member wanted Raymond dead for it. She stacks her tiles one by one. Click, clack. Now they want you dead for it, too. Click. This plastic-faced man may show up on your door one day as well. She knocks the pile over and it clatters to the table loudly. I have a proposal for you, my sweets. A smile lights up her dead black eyes. Work for me. With Nightjar and Gutshot dead, I find myself with 2 job openings. Fill them. I have need of deniable assets here, players unaffiliated with the triads who can take care of some of the more unsavory business needs about town. You've proven yourselves resourceful and you have no existing connections here. That can be positive in this line of work. Shadowrunners. Whoo grunts, his jaw tightens, but he stays quiet. In exchange, I will keep you safe from pests like this one. She nods at the body of the floor. Wait, a body on the floor? I think that's a typo. The pool of blood on the plastic wrap continues to widen. You'll have safe harbor here in my town and a steady source of income. She picks up a handful of tiles again, and while you dip your toe into the waters of corporate espionage, organized crime, and clandestine mercenary actions, I will employ my network to find the plastic-faced man and gather information about Raymond Black, where he's been, who he's talked to, who stood to gain from his death, and what this prosperity could be. What's in it for you? Besides the money and the benefits of helping others in my community? Well, I need to learn who killed one of my clients and then ordered the cops to execute my team of Shadowrunners. Her voice drops and she becomes deadly serious. This is a brazen disregard of my power. Face dictates. It must be confronted or I stand to lose everything. Okay. Well, she does have a point, but my big concern with her right now, if I was actually playing tabletop with my friends, I would take this, basically I would sidebar this with the rest of the Shadowrunners away from the GM and we would have a conversation about this. But she strikes me as a dead-eyed killer, the kind of person that'll sell you out in a heartbeat if it means she moves up the chain. What happens if at some point she's just using us as a bargaining chip so that the executive council can talk to her, give her a fantastic offer that moves her way up the chain? In fact, maybe they assist her in eliminating, because she's only a straw sandal. So she's above Red Pole. She's middle way up. She's basically like a captain, a capo. She's in there somewhere. But she's not that high up the chain. She's basically a local boss. What if the executive council agrees to help wipe out other triads so that she can run the whole thing in exchange for selling us out down the line? Like, don't trust anybody in Shadowrun is all that I'm saying right now. Everybody's playing you, and everybody has a motive. How would the arrangement work? I find the right jobs for people with your talents. You do what the clients cannot do for themselves. I take a finder's fee and a small percentage of your earnings. You make a lot of Nuyen very quickly. It's all very civilized. She leans in. Work with me. Allow me to help you make money. Let my network work for you and help you find out what you've gotten yourselves into. Without my help, you won't last a day out there. You are completely out of your depth, I'm afraid. You need a partner. Kindly Cheng will be your partner. Woo's hands go to his hips. He drops his head and shakes it a little confused. I gotta wrap my brain around this, Pop-Tart. Things are moving fast, and there's a lot to process. Come on, Woo, you and me, on the streets together again. I know, I get it. I just gotta reconcile this whole... He grips the back of his neck and squeezes hard, rips his hand away. Ah, fuck it, I'm not a cop anymore. That guy's dead. He nods. The decision's made. I'm in. What about you? Well... We can make it about Raymond, or we can say that we're in because we didn't have anything else. We could say that there's good money in the shadows and we can cash in. I'm going to say that I agree with them. I do think that Ray's still alive. I think they're trying to draw us out for whatever reason. There's got to be some reason that Raymond was raising random little kids that he picked up in the hood, and I think that our story is going to connect with that somehow. There's got to be something special about us, or there's got to be some reason that he took us in and not other kids, you know what I mean? So I think he's still alive, and it's a ploy to draw us out from wherever we were. I think Ray's still alive, too. Let's run the shadows and figure out what happened to him. Raymond is alive, I'm sure of it. So I'll run the shadows as long as Auntie Chang keeps her end of the bargain and helps us figure out what really happened to him. And then I'm going to find my father. Then it's done. Hiyoi is now open to you. She gestures to her lieutenant, who raises a finger to her ear and whispers into her sleeve. First order of business. Pop-Tart, Tuesday, and Duncan Whoo don't exist anymore. You'll need street names. Whoo sighs. Yeah, okay, I'll think of something. Gobbet rubs her cheek against her rats, a glint in her eye. I think we've already got you covered, Gun Show. She turns to Isabel. Fits, doesn't it? Oh, it sucks. I mean, I guess it means you have good biceps, though. They call you Gun Show. Bang. Indeed. I knew that was going to stick. It has stuck. Gobbet, Isabel, will handle this the same way we did with all of your previous work. She didn't say Nightjar. All the jobs I line up for you will be sent to your computer on the squat boat. She's pointing at you. Okay. Why me? It's a simple process of elimination. She points to the little decker. Isabel isn't the leader type. You got that right. She moves her finger to the orc girl. As for Gobbet, let's just say that Gobbet doesn't have a head for business. Not my thing. She rests her finger on Woo, and then there's Gun Show. She wiggles it. The jury's out on Mr. Gun Show. Meaning? Her response is direct and straightforward. Meaning there's a lot going on in that head of yours right now, and I'm not sure I can trust you. So I'm in charge because I'm the best of the worst. Alright, Gun Show will be fine, trust me. Kindly Chang makes eye contact with you and holds it. She keeps it steady for a long time. Woo doesn't notice. Don't worry, I'll be cool, Pop-Tart. Okay then, it looks like I'm running the show. Woo shakes his head, eyebrows raised. It's gonna be weird calling you Splattercat again. Haven't called you that since we were kids. Gobbet looks from Isabel to Woo to you. I guess this is our new crew. It all rhymed. From Isabel to Woo to you, I guess this is our new crew. Dropping mad lyrical bombs, Gobbet. The rat on her shoulder scurries to the top of her head for a better view. Welcome to the shadows, Splattercat. Okay, so we're in. We gotta go activate the mission computer. That's gonna be the next thing up. What is that right there in the bottom corner? Oh. So wait, what does this do? What? So apparently I actually get to choose their advancement. Oh, that's pretty cool. So I can go with Spiritualist. Spirits will never break in the first 2 rounds after... Oh, they have little talent trees instead of leveling up like everybody else does. That's kind of interesting. Or we can go with Territoriality. She spends more time at the firing range, increasing her ranged combat and SMG specialization by 1. Okay. Well, I mean, technically she's a shaman. So since she's a shaman, we should probably leave her as such. It looks like we do get to select these, though. I probably won't use her for much. Isabel's probably going to stay at home most of the time. Crowd control. Duncan gains a rifle ability that does 2 AP damage and imbalances targets, making them easier to hit on subsequent attacks. The ability cannot do critical damage. Costs 1 AP. So essentially it counts as a stun. If you want to know what AP damage is, it deducts from the AP that they have coming. So if you think of combat as a linearity where it's 2 plus, you have 2 AP a turn. If you think of combat as a linear line from start to finish where it's just got a +2 incrementally, it essentially removes one of those +2s. It subtracts from the total amount that you're going to have during the course of the entire combat. So you lose 2 AP on the next turn, basically. Which you'll stand there stunned. You get little Tweety birds up above your head. Lethal Force. Duncan gains an assault rifle ability that fires a single shot of incendiary ammo, does an additional 2 damage and pierces 2 armor. Cool. So can I do this whenever I want? Like, can I just respec them mission by mission? That'd be super badass if you can, but that's all we got for right now, though. Okay. Well, I'm going to exit for now. I don't want to play around with too much. Let's jump on into the computer on the other side and see what we can do there. As you lead your team through the shadows, your companions will continue to develop and learn new combat skills. Clicking the icon in the lower... Okay, so we already found that. At each new advancement, when they put a big glowing orange thing on the screen, I have to click it. So for each advancement level, you may choose one of two possible combat skills for each of your runners. Choose wisely. Okay, so it is a permanent thing. Alright, since our choices have permanence, I think we should probably have some kind of... We should have some kind of goal that we're working towards, I guess, before we start putting in points. I need to buy technology like right now, because one thing that was woefully apparent during that last run is that I was having a lot of trouble making things work as far as decking is concerned, and if I could have a few more utilities, I think it'll make my life easier. Overhead, a gigantic hollow sign shines like a searchlight, screaming its message through the dim light. It hums and flickers, sputtering like an old engine. Fierce electrical cackles sporadically burst out of the sign's emitter, stabbing your eyes and filling your ears with static. Under the baleful glare of the sign, the rusty mini-barge's deck is stacked with electronics. Dilapidated stereos share space with crisply boxed servers. Ranks of disks and memory chips fill display cases padlocked under plexiglass. They forgot an S. I think that's actually like a brand's capitalized. I assume it's a brand. A short human in his late 20s stands in the middle, hands on his hips, talking loudly into the air. Bulky virtual reality goggles cover his eyes. A data jet cable runs from his temple down his stained t-shirt to a belt load of clearly home-built computer hardware. No, I'm telling you. His voice is shrill and clipped. Oh, we gotta do the Doug voice. No, I'm telling you. Nobody uses KM3s. Like, nobody. They're shit. I don't care what Dang says. If Shadowrun SRP uses KM3s, they're stupid. Hey, flesh is rolling up. I gotta go. He turns to face you, goggles blank and enigmatic, blinking with tiny lights and wrapped in duct tape. He points at your PDA. I ripped that PDA. You work for Kindly. His lips work impatiently. Yo, what do you want? Who are you? Servos whine as two lenses on his goggles zoom in on you. Who am I? You're new here. I get it. You don't know about me yet, but you will. I'm one of the guys that keeps this neighborhood running. This is Law's Technology's palace, a satellite territory of Wampoa. You step on the boat and you're in a sovereign state. I represent Wampoa here. I'm Maximum Law. He draws himself up proudly, sitting his hands on his hips. The Maximum Law, yo. You got a tech problem? Boom, I solve it. You need software? Boom, done. But don't waste my time. So, you got any business in Wampoa right now? If not, keep on moving. Why are you wearing VR goggles? It's not VR, it's augmented reality. We're pioneering it. Little cameras and matrix overlays. I can support a three-dimensional HUD and sub-windows with live multiple feeds. I've got a command cell open right now, and I'm networked with 5 guys. Giggity. Law taps his goggles. It's a wave of the future. Augmented reality? I hear a lot of corps are experimenting with it, but not in such a socially invasive way. Yeah, Shadowrun, Fuchi, Renraku, a couple of others. Law waves his hand dismissively. Some of us took a look at what they're doing. Their whole approach is flawed. They won't get anywhere. You guys looked at everything multiple megacorps are doing. Yup. Corps can't think like us. They're paper tigers. Inside all that money and organization, their systems run by idiots. Their coders lack perspective, no complexity of thinking. The system prevents it. Law says it with supreme confidence, a statement of perfect fact. Boom! That is an amazingly ostentatious hollow sign you've got. Yo! Maximum Law looks up at the gigantic blue-white letters with deep satisfaction. It's pretty, boss. Yeah, pretty boss. Damn right, he gives you a virile nod. You're a guy who appreciates the good stuff, and I like that. Half of Hioi gets its juice from a pirate tap on a big Mitsuhama DC cable under the river. Mitsuhama's like, his voice winds up into a mocking whine. Oh, let's run 2 million volts from the cold fusion plant to the island under the river, so some monkeys can't tap an underwater cable. Idiots. You know who builds a tap that pulls electricity off the cable? Wampoa. You know whose barge holds the transformer? Mine. Maximum Law thrusts his fist high in the air in silent victory. Cheap power for all and a whole lot of extra for me. Behold the lighthouse of Boom! Looks like you've got some dangerously exposed wires over there. Yo, what are you, my mother? Law forwards you with skeptical disgust, regards you. Those wires are fine, and where they are, high and dry, they're only a problem for somebody who does something stupid. I'm running a high-bandwidth tech operation. Do I look like I have time to tape copper and sip tea? No, I don't. Law wraps his knuckles fiercely on a clear-top case full of buses, cables, and cable harnesses. These are the only wires that you need to think about. Alright, well, I'm here for tech. Let me see what you've got. So he's got a Craftwork 1. I believe, what does that require? Data jacking. Okay, so he's decking 3. He's also got a Cyber City. Programs 4, ESPs 1. So yeah, the Craftwork is better than what we have right now. We should also make ourselves pretty indomitable when we're in. Oh, we can reduce. Oh, hello. We have suppression programs. So we got Blaster. Damn, we got all kinds of good stuff going on in here. Jesus, this could be a little. You know what? I'm going to break the episode off right here. I'm going to come back. I'm going to peruse for a little bit and decide what I want to grab. And then after that, we'll get going. All right. My name is Splattercat. This is Shadowrun Hong Kong. Farewell, everyone.